What is up, guys? You're back with another YouTube video. Today we are going to be talking about the tropics ramping up and a potential flash flooding risk, all coming up right up into this video. First, we're going to take a look at national radar, like always. We do have many areas of showers and thunderstorms active in the northeast right now, and these could produce some definite flash flooding here, as the Weather Prediction Center has two areas of moderate risk of flash flooding. One in areas including Asheville, Brevard, Franklin. Another one including portions of the Northeast, including Connecticut, Rhode Island, portions of New York, and Pennsylvania here in the moderate risk of flash flooding. So persons here need to be very well aware for a potential extreme flash flooding threat for today, with some big areas of rainfall and just a lot of rainfall across the U.S. right now. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning and a marginal risk of severe weather in Texas. Now we're going to get right into this. Today's severe weather outlook does include a marginal risk of severe weather, just centered into portions of central Texas. Really nothing much. We have one severe thunderstorm warning, and they're ongoing at the moment. Really nothing much, but we could maybe see some instances of maybe some hail or wind or so, but really nothing much. Really, let's take a look at how much rain we could get from this storm. Most of the areas in the Northeast could see up to 3 inches of rainfall. In the areas of red and areas of pink could see areas of 1 to 2 inches with this. But really, if we do see a storm that just trains over the same area, we could see up to 8 inches of rain in these areas. Yeah, I'm saying that's crazy, but it depends on if we get any storms that just train over one of these areas. They could get up to 8 inches. But this is the main forecast that doesn't happen. But this is still quite a bit of rain here, and that will help on the drought conditions we do actively have in the Northeast. Let's take a look at the tropics. They're actually kind of ramping up here. We do actually have three different areas where there's tropical systems right now. We have Tropical Storm Earl that is active here. It's forecast to be a Category 3 hurricane. This really won't make much effects to Bermuda by any means, but we could maybe see some isolated rainfall there. Really nothing much, maybe some isolated winds and some isolated rainfall, but really not a lot. But this is forecast to be a major Category 3 hurricane with this. We also have an area here in the main development region with a 50% chance of development. We could see this thing develop. That's why we're going to take a look at the models soon on this thing. We also do have Hurricane Danielle. It's a Category 1 hurricane at the moment. It's forecasted to really not head anywhere, in my opinion. Both Earl and Danielle, I don't think will have any impact really anywhere. But what we're taking a look at is I'm trying to remember what this one's called. We have K, or Hurricane K. Now it's a Category 1 hurricane, forecast to be a Cat 2 here. This could have some isolated impacts for Baja California here, including rain. Pretty isolated rain spots, maybe up to 6 inches of rain. So we could definitely see some heavy rainfall from this. And maybe even the threat for maybe some flash flooding, maybe some isolated flash flooding. And the wind threat, not much, but we could see some isolated winds with this too. So that's the forecast. Now, what we're going to take a look at is infrared satellite imagery with Hurricane Danielle. This thing is not the most organized thing at the moment. It's just probably going to weaken from here. This is at its probably strongest thing right now. This is what it's looking like. It's not the strongest thing ever, but it's still there. So, now we're going to take a look at Earl here. This is definitely blowing up in convection. There's a lot of convection, a lot of clouds with this. This thing is definitely starting to strengthen a lot with this. It's pretty strong. This definitely is pretty strong here with this. You can definitely see Earl is right around there here. So it's definitely a pretty strong system here that's forecast to be a Category 3 hurricane. Now we're going to take a look at K. It's definitely also has a lot of convection and clouds with it. It's very organized here. It definitely is starting to organize a little bit here. This is a Category 1 hurricane now, and I wouldn't be surprised if we could see an eye with this, but I'm not sure. But this thing is a Category 1 hurricane, forecast to be a Category 2 hurricane. Now, what we're going to do is take a look at the models. Now, if we do take a look at the models here, we're going to take a look at what could potentially happen in the Atlantic. With the GFS models, the first thing we're going to take a look at. GFS model does predict this to become potentially a major hurricane here. And then, what does it predict with this chance of 50% chance of development here? It does say this could potentially maybe be a low-end tropical storm with this, but it really just shows it kind of weakens off by the time it gets to the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. So really, it's not really predicting much with this. If we do take a look at the European model, it's kind of the same thing mostly. It does show that it kind of gets the European model shows it gets a little bit stronger, but it really doesn't show much with this. Just not much, but it does show something. We could see something significant. It also does show that it could be a major hurricane for Earl with this. Now let's take a look at the models and see what we could see for, or basically what we could see happen with with Hurricane K. It does show that this thing could become a 979 millibar hurricane and have some definite rain impacts for Baja California here. And then kind of skirt off and not really have any impacts for normal California. But it definitely showed it could be pretty strong here. And the GFS shows this thing is way stronger than the European model does. And it shows it could definitely have some rain impacts for portions of Baja California for today. Hope you guys did like this video. Hope you guys liked it, and bye, guys.